Hope everybody's having a good day today. So I wanted to give you all kind of a fill-in update for what we got going on here. We're in the middle of March and winter has seemed to have struck again, and it's 34 degrees outside. So as you can see, I've got the hood up on my drill rig, and we're doing, I guess you would call, unscheduled maintenance. The last time we went to drill a well, my secretary had actually sent me a text message and said, the drill rig is making an awful noise coming from the engine. And we could hear it that morning, and we were trying to address it. And we just figured, you know, one of the pulleys was going bad or something like that, so we would go ahead and address it. So I want to kind of show you what we did yesterday. I didn't catch any footage on it, but yeah, I'll give you an update, show you what we did. So I'm gonna come over here and turn this light on. So this light I actually got from Viver. They sent it to me when they sent me the well pump. And I was actually in really desperate need of one of these tripod light stands. So if anybody needs something for their shop for a reasonable cost, this is under $100, and it puts off more light than anything that I have seen in my shop. And it puts light on the situation at hand. So, you know, trucks, as they age, believe it or not, this truck's almost 20 years old, things start to go bad on it. So a belt situation, you get kind of a squeal. On this, it was kind of a groaning sound. So we started to take the belt off, and the first thing we did, we spun the alternator, and the alternator had a little chink, chink, chink to it. And then I actually ended up finding pieces of magnet laying around here, so I guess the magnet inside the alternator had broken and come out. So that was the first thing that we were going to replace. So we took that off. Since the belt was off, we went over here to the idler pulley, and the bearing inside of the tensioner. The tensioner had actually failed. You could pull on the belt, and the belt would pull with ease. So we knew the tensioner was bad, and the bearing inside of it had almost started to fail to the point where it was going to fall off. But it was still working. Then we went down to the water pump, and we took a closer look at it, and we could see that a little bit of coolant had started to dribble out of it, and then once it would get warm, the seal would expand and seal it off. So we knew that the water pump had pretty much timed out. So we went ahead and changed all three of those yesterday, changed the belt, put a brand new belt on, and once we put the belt back on it, we had the same exact problem, and we couldn't figure it out. So I was like, okay. About a year ago, we had power steering line fail. I said, well, maybe we got air in the power steering. So thanks to YouTube, I found out that inside of this canister here for your power steering fluid is actually a filter. There is a filter inside there, like regular oil filter with holes in the top of it, and I would have never expected there to be a filter, but there was. So I said, okay, maybe the filter's so clogged up, it's causing the system to cavitate, and, you know, that's where the groaning sound's coming from. Well, we changed that filter. Wasn't it. So I called a buddy of mine, Will. He actually is a diesel mechanic. He actually rebuilt the engine on our drilling rig about 2 years ago. So shout out to him. Does really good work. He's actually got a YouTube channel, and I'll post a link in the description of the video to his channel if anybody wants to go check somebody out. Kind of like-minded to myself, but he does diesel work. So long story short, after we had put everything on this thing, and we put the belt back on, crunked the truck up, and it started making the noise again. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, man, there's nothing else it could be besides the air compressor or the power steering pump that powers on the back of it, because the way these work is it doesn't run off of a belt, it runs off of a gear drive inside this case here. So I was like terrified that the gear set inside of that thing was starting to come apart. Well, if we come up here, okay, so now we have light on the front of the engine. We have this shaft here. Try to block the light. Okay, so we have this shaft. So this shaft is actually what the front clutch and radiator fan supports on. And there are these two big gigantic bearings that slip over top of this, and the fan and the clutch and all that assembly rides on those two bearings. Well, come to find out, the bearings that were inside of this piece had started to go bad. And then the clutch itself is not an electric clutch. It's not like a hydraulic clutch. It's a pneumatic clutch. So there's actually a little air fitting here that once the truck gets air pressure, it actually activates the clutch inside the fan. So that's how that works. I ain't never seen anything like that. But yeah. So after process of elimination, changing absolutely everything else out, we have learned that it was actually the bearings that were supported by this giant thing. So this is your clutch assembly. That's the little orifice where the air goes in to activate the clutch. And then those are the plastic fan blades that go for the radiator. So yeah, after changing all that, there's the giant nut that we had to take off. But now our issue is we got to find the bearings, and nobody has them in stock, so we had to order them. So we got Napa to order our bearings, and we got that coming in. Now the truck's kind of got to sit until we can get that put back together to where we can go finish these jobs. We've got like 40 wells to drill, and they're just keep stacking up, but that's just part of running older equipment. Things start to time out, and you got to do, you know, regularly scheduled maintenance. They always say if you don't schedule time for maintenance, maintenance will schedule time for you to do it, you know, on its own time. And my biggest fear was having to pay some towing company to tow this thing on the side of the road if it were to ever go out while we were going down. And I looked at the cost of towing, and you're like $1,200 to tow this, you know, this truck that weighs 50,000 pounds. And the cost of the of the stuff that I replaced yesterday was almost about half that cost. So it wasn't inducive for me to just let something fail. It was process of elimination. But unfortunately, we didn't get it right the first time. But now it's got a brand new alternator, brand new tensioner, brand new water pump, and a brand new belt, and it's going to have brand new fan bearings. So there can't be too much else left to fail on it. And hopefully we'll get another good 20 years out of it before we have any mishaps. But that's actually the second turbo we put on it. There's a lot of things that we've had to update on these trucks, but thankfully this is not a DEF version. And we went ahead and updated all the antifreeze in the system. But yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on here at the office today. And this is what we were working on yesterday. So I'll take you inside and show you what I'm working on today. I'm going to go ahead and take my light with me, because I absolutely love this thing. If anybody wants one of these, you can order them on the Beaver website. I'll post a link in the description box if you want to get one. So we've been working on this kitchen area in our office throughout the winter time. And what I'm working on today is hooking up the sink. So I've got all my drain plumbing. It's not something I typically do. Typically I focus on the well side of things, but we're gonna go ahead and finish hooking up the base of these sinks and hook up the dishwasher. And at the end of this, I'm gonna be hooking up a RO system that was sent to me by a company called Simpure. And I'll show you that here in a quick second. I will make a future video on it. And actually I'm gonna make a few videos on it. So this is part of the Simpure RO system. These are going to be the 4 filters. There's the plumbing that came with the kit. And then this is the mounting base for the filters themselves. It's a very nice unit. I've looked over it. I will make a review tutorial video for this here in the near future. But I'm very happy that this came in. They had reached out to me and wanted me to review their product, so I'm going to do so. They actually sent me 2. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one at my house as well. And I'm going to do some water testing, and I'm going to show you some before and after results of this system here. But that will not be in today's video. Today's video is just kind of give you all an update of what's going on, what I've been up to, and kind of give you a peek inside of our shop. Most people don't have well drilling shops that look like this, but believe it or not, this was a long time dream of my father's to have a place like this. So his dream has come true. Ain't that right, Dad?
Oh, my dreams always come true, son.
Yeah, his dream always come true. But you work hard, that's what you get.
Yeah, you work hard and work hard.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get ready to finish plumbing up this sink. See y'all later.